you're not going to PestWorld, you're totally missing out. The connections that you make there with other PCOs, vendors, you don't even know what solutions you're looking for to grow your business until you get there. You'll find solutions, systems, and resources there that you didn't even know existed.
Without further ado, who we have on the show is Dr. Jim Fredericks. He is a board-certified entomologist and Senior Vice President of Public Affairs at the NPMA. In 2012, Dr. Fredericks received his PhD in Entomology and Wildlife Ecology from the Department of Entomology and Wildlife Ecology at the University of Delaware. His PhD research involved subterranean termite foraging behavior with respect to in-ground termite bait stations under fluid conditions. Welcome to the Bug Bux podcast, the podcast designed to turn you into a bug money millionaire. This episode is brought to you by Bug Bux Plus, the #1 training and education platform designed to help you build and scale your pest control company. I'm your host, Eric Bassett, and in the Vancouver studio, right next to me, my co-host, Jay Klaus. What is up, dude?
What's up, Eric? What's up, my Bug Buxers?
Okay, so sitting right next to you, obviously, I can't help but notice that you got this awesome-looking, well-groomed beard going on. Tell me about it.
Okay, well, so I'm taking a bit of a break from the fire department. Not like stepping away. I'm just like reducing my time there.
Okay.
For the next couple of months because we've got a lot of things going on. And so, like everybody who's involved in the fire department, when you take a leave of absence, what do?
Grow a beard.
You grow a beard. Yeah. So that's what's going on here. But actually, plot twist. I'm actually secretly growing a mustache.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Does Jana know?
No, she does not.
Love
That's
it.
why
she's not going to listen to
twist.
this episode anyway,
No.
so she's never going to find
Well,
out.
by the time this episode airs,
I
the
guess
jig
that's
will be
true.
up, you know. So, like most women under the age of 65, Jana abhors a mustache, which is a shame because I grow a mean mustache.
You do.
You know.
Yeah.
And anyway, so what I'm doing is this. I'm growing in my beard, and I'm going to keep the beard trimmed so it doesn't get bushy, but I'm not trimming the mustache. So my mustache will grow imperceptibly incognito into a full-blown mustache. And then the day before Mother's Day, Saturday before Mother's Day, what's that? Is that this Sunday?
That's this Sunday,
Oh,
yeah.
So Saturday, I'm going to shave the beard, and Jana will be pissed at me, obviously, because I have a mustache.
Yep.
And then for her Mother's Day present, I'm going to shave the mustache.
What a genius.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Jana's way too smart to fall for any of that crap, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Man, that's like me like leaving all my like tools and crap around the backyard and making Briley super mad. But then like for Mother's Day, like cleaning it all up for her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow.
I will
okay,
not make
smart.
the mistake that so many men do and buy Jana a blender or something like that, you know, or new mixer. She doesn't fall for that crap either. Or flowers. Jana,
Or flowers.
Yeah, Jana's
buy
like,
them a
how much do those
vacuum.
flowers cost? It's a waste of money. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And also the beard. I knew our guest today. I knew we were having our guest today, and he has like the epic, like just the most professional beard of all time.
Yes.
And I feel like we even have kind of the white chinny chin
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
very
So this is
very
also in honor of our guest today.
That's amazing. Okay, well, since we were talking about our guest, without further ado, I want to bring him on because he has a lot of fantastic information for us and for you guys listening. But real quick, before we do that, just want to remind everybody listening, the best way to receive new episodes is by subscribing to our show on your preferred podcast platform like Apple, YouTube, Audible, or Spotify. If you love the show, please leave us a rating and a review. Make sure to check out our Facebook group. That is Bug Bux Plus, BUGBUX Plus. We have the owners only group that has over 5,000 other pest control owners in it, waiting to connect with you and share their thoughts. We also have the Bug Bux Pest Pros group for non-owner team members designed to help them develop in their roles. Joining the groups is the best way to connect with us and share your feedback on our show and have your questions highlighted and discussed here on the podcast. So make sure you find us on Facebook and join one of those groups. All right, dude. So,
Okay. All right. Let's get on with the show.
yeah, and the rap sheet is, I don't say it's quite long, but it is very prestigious. So I
Oh,
don't want to waste any
absolutely.
time here. Don't
Yeah.
want to waste any time. All right. Without further ado, who we have on the show is Dr. Jim Fredericks, which you guys might have known.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows Dr.
yeah,
Jim.
It's fantastic. And if you didn't know all this, he is a board-certified entomologist and senior vice president of public affairs at the NPMA, which you guys might also recognize. He received his BS in biology education from Millersville University of Pennsylvania in 1995 and his MS in entomology from the University of Delaware in 2001. In 2012, Dr. Fredericks received his PhD in entomology and wildlife ecology from the Department of Entomology and Wildlife Ecology at the University of Delaware. His PhD research involved subterranean termite foraging behavior with respect to in-ground termite bait stations under field conditions. Prior to his role with the NPMA, Jim spent 11 and a half years working with Home Paramount Pest Control in Forest Hill, Maryland, as technical director, where he was responsible for product selection, treatment protocol development, service quality assurance, technical training. A Philadelphia native, Jim currently lives in Fairfax, Virginia, with his wife and 2 children.
Woo!
Wow.
Man,
Okay.
are we out of our depth here or what?
Jim, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm really excited. I mean, I'm honored that Jake has grown the beard and actually thinking about me at the same time.
I
And
have been thinking about you every day.
I'm sure.
Every time he rubs his chin, he's like, oh, Dr. Jim.
And I will tell you that mustache move is classic. And thinking of you as a firefighter, I thought for sure, like, firefighters grow mustache, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you got the full beard. But that you explained it all, so the mystery is solved.
Yeah, and like I said, I am not clever enough to outfox Jana. She, in fact, she might, by the time this thing comes off, she'll say, "Why does your mustache look longer than your beard?"
Yep. Yeah, she'll know.
She'll catch.
She'll figure it out.
She'll catch me. Yeah. I'm cooked.
So, Jim, in your bio, it said that obviously you've got the wife and the 2 children.
Yep.
Prior to hitting record, you were telling us some exciting news about the kids. Do share with the audience if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, I have 2 daughters. My oldest named Lydia, and my youngest is Annabelle. And Annabelle is just getting ready to graduate high school. And so in just a couple of months, we'll have both of our kids in college. And Allison and I will be on a strict budget at that point.
We're
Right?
going to start a
But-
GoFundMe for Dr.
Dr.
Jim
Jim,
Fredericks
yeah.
for his daughter's college fund.
Exactly. We'll be clipping coupons and accepting all the GoFundMes you can muster. But yeah, really exciting. We're really proud of both the girls. They're fantastic. They're just great kids. So it's a fun time right now.
Is it just me, or do the names Lydia and Annabelle seem very East Coast? Is that an East Coast thing? I don't know a single Annabelle or Lydia here.
I've met one Lydia, and maybe I don't know if I remember Annabelle, but I'd also say that they also sound very prestigious, old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Kind of East Coast,
Yeah.
fancy vibe to it.
Yeah,
Those are
They're,
nice.
I don't know about fancy, but they're both of those names come from our grandparents. So my wife and I both had a great grandmothers named Lydia, and so our firstborn was Lydia, and Annabelle is named after my great grandmother Anna. So that's where those come from. So we got a little history built into it.
I love the heritage names.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah.
Those are super great.
Oh,
And
that's great.
they obviously know the history of the names, I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's part of the fun of it, right? And so, there's a little bit of history, but they're also relatively unique names. So we don't have, they didn't have a whole lot of friends in school who had those names because, people were, naming, a more modern kind of hip name, and we had some throwbacks. So, just like, a throwback jersey in sports or anything else, there's something good about the nostalgia.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like the only association that I have with the name Lydia is from Beetlejuice. Isn't the
Oh, is that
Yeah, her
Lydia?
name's- her name's Lydia.
It is, yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
That's true. It's
and-
really cool when kids have a unique name
I love
for
it.
a lot of those reasons. You don't have any friends. Like I remember, like Eric is such a common name, dude. I had one class, there were 4 Erics in it.
Oh, I'm
No
sorry.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I guess I'm Eric B, and I get to be at the front of the line at least because the last name, alphabetical order. But yeah, that's
my
super cool.
just last thing on this. I have 2 middle names, Peter and Dwayne, and I'm named after both my maternal and paternal grandfathers.
Oh, I didn't realize that's
Yeah.
who that was.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I I love that, like your initials, like JPDC. Like I want to put like the little lightning bolt in between
Jana
them.
made me a T-shirt once.
Yes.
About 15 years ago, JPDC with
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's
Yep.
great.
Okay, Jim. If I don't start asking you NPMA questions, then the listeners get all sorts of bothered by
Oh,
it.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right. First of all, we've talked about this before. There is obviously the NPMA and there is the PPMA. For the listenership, can you give us a little bit of insight on the difference between the two and what we should know about both?
Yeah, sure. And I'll tell you, it's. I think I have like the best job in the world because I get to work for both NPMA and PPMA. So NPMA is National Pest Management Association. NPMA is the industry advocate for anything that is, on Capitol Hill, state departments of agriculture, EPA, business resources, technical resources, workforce development, all of those things. It's the trade association for the industry. PPMA, on the other hand, the Professional Pest Management Alliance, is affiliated with NPMA, but we have a separate board of directors, separate bylaws. We're funded completely separately from NPMA. We're funded by voluntary investments above and beyond NPMA dues. And what we do is we are the consumer outreach and education group. We are talking to consumers about why it's important to call a pro. Our message is consistently, pest control is not a do-it-yourself project. Pests are more than a nuisance. They're a threat to public health. They're a threat to food. They're a threat to your property. And so ultimately, what we're trying to do is grow the industry. I like to describe to people, if you can imagine like a big pie, right? And every pest control company out there is competing for their own slice of the pie. And you want your piece, your slice to get bigger, and you want your competitors to get a little smaller, right? But what PPMA is trying to do is make the entire pie bigger. So if we can make it a bigger pie, everyone's slice gets bigger with it. And that's what we're trying to do to grow the industry.
Man, wouldn't you say that is? I mean, we talk about that all the time. That is the exact mission of Bug Bux as well. You know, the pie is not limited. The pie keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you don't have to take from someone else's slice of pie to make your slice bigger. Man, Jim, that is just like, I love it how aligned the missions are here.
Yeah, and it's cool because I think a lot of people realize that the NPMA has a lot of resources, right? Like everything that you listed off, which is amazing, and people have started to associate a lot of those benefits, especially if you've gone to state association meetings or you've been to PestWorld, you've been to some of these other events, which we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. It's just nice to know that the NPMA puts so much intentional time and effort into something like the PPMA, which helps the customer-facing side of things, right? I've seen some of the content. We were at, I think it was a Hood River conference 2 conferences ago, maybe.
Yeah, yep. February
2023,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, 23.
And, you showed us some content that the PPMA
24.
had made. Yeah, 24, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
our dates.
Yeah.
But yeah, you showed us some content that the PPMA had made regarding, I think it might have been mosquitoes or something, but it was a commercial that you guys had designed, and it looked so good. And we
Yeah.
talked about Mainframe, which we'll talk about again in a second. But I love how much you guys are doing for the industry and how intentional that effort is. So thank you on behalf of us PCOs and for all the work that you guys do.
Yeah, for sure. And it's lots of different things that we're doing. So we do, kind of traditional media relations, PR. So, we're working to get the message out through our, through Termite Awareness Week. We're recording this during Tick Awareness Week. And so we've been doing a lot of talking to different folks. I had a radio interview this morning. We talked to AccuWeather yesterday about ticks and how the change in seasons. We do a lot of that media relations stuff. We also social media, digital media. Obviously, we have a number of different websites, public service announcements that run all over the country. We develop video and photography assets for our investors, and we do consumer research too. So it's all of this money that is being invested is then putting back into getting the word out, educating consumers, and developing resources for our investors.
Man,
Love
that's
it.
awesome. Tick Awareness Week. How did I not know this?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, no. You send out in the Daily Buzz, right? I get your emails all the time.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, yeah. This is Tick Awareness Week right now, and and what more and more. This is one of the big growth areas in pest control right now. Mosquito and tick management, and so we want to get the word out that first of all, how to protect yourself from ticks, because a lot of times people are going to pick up ticks in places that are not necessarily on their property.
Yeah.
But people also need to know that their property is not immune to ticks, right? Just because you're in your backyard, if the habitat is right, ticks can be there. But what a lot of folks don't know is that pest control pros have a solution for the ticks in your backyard. And when I tell people that, they're often surprised because they just don't associate tick management with pest control.
Residential pest control.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Okay, so since this is, I think Eric knows where I'm going with this. So since this is Tick Awareness Week, we're gonna take a peek under the hood here for just a moment. I'm gonna ask Dr. Jim his opinion on this. So when we had Cassie Krejci on the show, I asked her about this, and she said, I have never heard anything about that. I don't know anything about it, but we're going to go just a little conspiracy theory here just for a moment. So years ago, I read a book called Bitten by Chris Larson, I think.
Is it?
No,
I'll
no,
double check.
not Larson. That's Eric Larson. Chris, yeah, look it up, Kris. Anyway, it's like an investigative journalist. She's an investigative journalist. And she and her husband both get bitten by ticks, and they both contract Lyme disease. And so, the medical treatment process for Lyme disease is like it's almost non-existent, right? It's a really difficult process, or at least it was in the past. I can see you're making a face like I'm totally off base here, but that's beside the point. So then she starts unrolling this ball of yarn, and it goes way back to now this is going to sound real conspiracy theory, but it goes back to a research laboratory in Montana. There was a government-funded research laboratory where they had a Swiss scientist named William Bergdorfer, which is where it gets its name.
Borrelia burgdorferi.
Yeah, Borrelia
the
burgdorferi,
name of the
right?
pathogen that causes Lyme disease, right?
Right, and so it's named after this guy, Willy Bergdorfer, and he was the guy that was hired to do this. And so anyway, I'm curious. Does any of this hold any water?
This is this is a tough question. I'm gonna have to put my thinking cap on for this one.
Oh, I love
How
that.
about that?
Okay, if you're not watching,
Okay.
Dr. Jim just threw a Bug Bux cap on.
And for a second, I thought that what he was doing was like reaching over to turn off like a microphone.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Turn off like he's like turn off the wiretap in the
Yeah,
room. Like,
yeah, this
okay,
is
guys,
off
if we're gonna
record.
talk about this, then
I have not heard that. I do not know about that. So
It's worth a read. First, it's a really interesting read.
you said the
but
book
second
is
of all,
called Bitten.
Bitten
okay.
by,
So the book is called It's Bitten: The Secret History of Lyme Disease and Biological Weapons. It's written by Chris Newby.
Newby. That's right. Chris with a K.
Yeah, Chris with a K. Yeah, KRISNEWBY. Also,
It's worth a read. It's worth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, she's got documents and everything, so it's.
Yeah,
Jake is
that's the
only-
first time I heard of that one.
Yeah, Jake is only allowed one conspiracy theory per week
Oh.
on the podcast.
yeah.
So I just hope, Jim, you realize that he has used his one conspiracy theory topic on you. So
Yeah.
you
Again,
should feel grateful.
honored.
Yeah.
Completely
Yeah.
honored.
Is it one per episode, or is it just only one per week, but as many in an episode, as long as it's in the same episode?
It's got to be the same topic, one episode once per week.
Oh,
That's what
all
it's gotta
right,
be.
all right. I'm being throttled here.
Yeah,
I
we're
feel
not-
this is a conspiracy.
We're not. Oh, and we almost did a conspiracy with the NPMA Illuminati.
Oh yeah.
Which we can't talk about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, Jim. So
We'll move past
we'll
that.
move on,
Yeah.
so we don't get in trouble here. But obviously, Tick Awareness Week. I feel like the NPMA calendar is always just chock full of really cool stuff going on. You always have something that's happening. Other than Tick Awareness Week, what else is in the near future for the NPMA, PPMA that we should know about?
Pest Management Supply has been proudly serving the pest control industry in the Midwest for over 4 decades. Pest Management Supply is well known for delivering quality products and superior service. Just like many of you, Pest Management Supply is an independent, locally owned business. They are proud to be partnered with the top names in manufacturing and equipment, providing quality solutions from companies like BASF, Bell Labs, Enfu, Leafatech, Syngenta, and more. Pest Management Supply is proud to offer a diverse selection of professional-grade products, all with a personal touch. They stay ahead of industry trends to provide innovative solutions, aiming to be a reliable partner for pest management professionals throughout the Midwest. Pest Management Supply. Your success is our success, every step of the way.
Yeah, so PPMA has our media calendar that goes throughout the year, and we try to sync that up with the seasons. But NPMA has just got a ton of really amazing programming happening all the time. Next week, the NPMA crew will be in Austin, Texas for the Women's Forum. And so the idea behind the Women's Forum is to bring together people in the pest management industry, but focus on women and the really just amazing contributions that women are having with our industry. That's one of our fastest growing meetings, and I think we have right now more than 350 people registered for that one, so we're pretty excited about that coming up.
Awesome.
In July, we have July 15th through the 17th, we have the NPMA Academy, and this one is really fun. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Academy before, but this is a meeting, a conference where we don't talk about technical stuff. There's no CEUs. It's all about building your business and building your network. It's about leadership development. I think you guys would really dig it. And the way that we do it, we have a little bit of classroom stuff. We have some really amazing speakers, but we break everybody up into teams. We have the red team, the blue team, orange team, yellow team, and they compete for points throughout the week. And so some of these things are physical challenges, like we might play like 3-legged volleyball, or we might do, like have races on gym scooters, or all kinds of crazy stuff. And there might be some kind of mental challenges as well, like, develop a social media campaign about the orange team and get the most likes on TikTok or something. And just really awesome. That's coming up. Academy, definitely something people should not miss.
And where is that? Where's Academy?
That's going to be in Indian Wells, California, Palm Springs.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys, does it alternate just 2 different locations every other year? Is that
Florida,
how that works?
California.
Academy tends to go Florida. It goes from the swampy conditions in Florida to the desert, to like hot desert. So it's either like in Arizona or sometimes we've had it in Lake Las Vegas, but then also in California, Palm Springs. So it's just
You've
an
done
awesome
it in
conference.
Arizona in July?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Phoenix.
Competition. Go stand outside for 30 minutes. Don't die.
That's ambitious.
It's a dry heat.
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
And that's when we try to incorporate more like pool stuff. So synchronized swimming is always a crowd
Oh,
favorite.
sure. Yeah, of course.
So seeing teams of pest control folks doing synchronized swimming. Actually, it's really it's amazing how creative our industry is, and they do some amazing stuff. So lots of fun. Of course, we have PestWorld coming up in October.
Yes.
PestWorld is like the crown jewel of the NPMA conferences. That's going to be in Orlando this year. So we were just a few folks away, just a few registrations away from our record last year when we were in Denver. In terms of attendance, we had more than 4,000 people there. The last time we set the record, it was in Orlando, and that was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So we fully expect that we're going to have a great turnout. It should be the biggest PestWorld ever, and Orlando is just always a fun place to bring the family and enjoy all the things that Orlando has and then get in some good pest control stuff at the same time.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna follow that plug by saying, if you are listening to this program or listening to this show right now, and you are even affiliated in any way with a pest control company, whether you're owner, manager, or whatever, if you're not going to PestWorld, you're totally missing out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the connections that you make there with other PCOs, the connections you make there with vendors, you don't even know what solutions you're looking for in your business to grow your business until you get there and talk to other PCOs and talk to the vendors. You'll find solutions and systems and resources there that you didn't even know existed. And plus, it's just a gas, man. It's so much fun to just be around all those people. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's funny how long it took me and you two to actually get to PestWorld. You know how much time we spent in the industry just kind of operating before we actually went.
Hawaii was my first PestWorld.
Yeah,
ever.
Denver was my first.
Yeah.
At PestWorld, which just sounds crazy considering how long we've been in the industry.
Right.
But obviously, you know, Bug Bux has a booth that we're gonna have there. We give away cool
We're
stuff.
gonna have 2 booths. Actually.
Yeah, we're gonna have one for the podcast, one for everything else.
Yep.
So we can kind of mitigate not getting completely just inundated with people the whole time. We had a great turnout at PestWorld last year. It was so awesome. So we're expanding our booth presence, which would be pretty sweet. But I wanted to kind of dive a little bit more into PestWorld. Obviously, it's in a really cool place. What do you know about the agenda, the schedule of speakers? Can you give us any teasers about PestWorld coming up in Orlando?
Well, we'll have, as you know, for the people that haven't been to PestWorld, we'll have more than 70 educational sessions at PestWorld this year.
Whoa.
We typically have, and it's hard to fit it all in, but we typically will have seven tracks running concurrently at any time. And so there's something for everyone. There will be some of the best technical speakers in the world. We try to find content that hasn't been seen somewhere else. Like we'll specifically request, you know, Bobby Corrigan, can you speak on this particular thing? Or,
My guy.
You know, and we'll ask for something, and they'll develop a talk for PestWorld. But there's also, in addition to like you can get all your CEUs there, but business stuff we'll have, you know, marketing, sales. We'll have a CEO forum, which is kind of we'll run. It's kind of a kind of mini conference within the conference, where you can kind of, you know, for business owners to come in and kind of really dive in a smaller group to you know, just kind of learn about the business and just dig in with some of your peers. So all those things will be taking place. It's going to be just absolutely really, really fun. Of course, the energy is amazing. And the exhibit hall, like you said, the exhibit hall will likely sell out again, so it'll be the largest exhibit hall ever. Hundreds of vendors.
We just looked at it. Actually with a vendor that's coming on to be a vendor with Bug Bux, and we just looked at the floor map, and I think there's like 3 spaces left or something.
Dude, it filled up so fast.
Yeah, it filled up super fast. Yeah. Bug Bux, we secured our booths months ago, and even then, it was hard to find booths that were kind of like right next to each other.
It has really grown. You know, years ago, it used to be, you know, pesticide distributors and suppliers, manufacturers for the industry, like kind of obvious things. But more and more, business services and the technology in the industry is just growing at such a rapid pace that there will be folks there that were not there last year because their product didn't exist last year, right? That's how quick, that's the pace that we're moving right now. It's just a really exciting time to be in our industry.
Yeah, it's cool.
Dude, I remember looking at once they announced where it was going to be. So it's at the Orlando World Center Marriott, right?
Right.
If you guys haven't looked at this thing already,
Just look at it from a Google Maps,
you're like
satellite view.
you're telling me this is all one place? Like, this thing is freaking huge. And so, you know, I just love how you guys pick really fun places to go. The Gaylord that was in Denver was also a really cool place.
Super cool. Yeah.
And it's like, you know, if you're going to go and spend, you know, the days there for PestWorld, you know, most of the stuff that we go to, I think, is just kind of like, hey, the funness of it is actually the event. Everything outside of that is just meh, you know. You guys marry really well the funness of the actual PestWorld event and a really, really cool place. So Yeah, this place is awesome looking.
Yeah, I feel like Orlando this year could be totally a family affair for all the people that are coming. You know, there's like the hotel. Is that a hotel or is that a theme park? I can't tell. It's like
or both.
or
like
both.
It's,
Yeah, you bring your wife and kids. They go play in the pool all day long while you go learn about how to build your business.
Yeah, it's got a couple pools. It's surrounded by a golf course. I mean, dude, this thing is awesome looking. So
the venue is great. It's a amazing hotel, amazing amenities at the hotel. Golf, of course. Florida, there's plenty of great golf, but there's a golf course right there. And and then if you want to extend your stay, then you go ahead and go visit some of the theme parks, Disney, Universal, whatever it happens to be in Orlando. We do really try hard to think about the location because we know that it's a big investment, to come to PestWorld, right? If you're gonna in some cases shut down your business for a week because you may be the only person running the thing, and you're gonna fly across the country and you're gonna register for the conference, it's got to be worth your while, and we want to make it the best possible experience for everyone when they visit.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Google map right here, and if we could throw this up, we would. But you have the Orlando World Center Marriott right there, and then within just a few minutes in any direction, you've got all sorts of other really cool stuff. Disney Resort stuff all over the place. Other things, Epcot's right there. Walt Disney World Resort. I mean, dude, it's so great. How many?
Just bring the families.
We should. Let's just do it. How many years in advance does the NPMA book these locations?
We're booked out about 10 years.
What?
So we have it's amazing. I mean, like I said, it's the best job in the world because first of all, I just love pest control and I love the industry. But the team here behind the scenes, talk about pulling back the curtain. We have a meetings and convention team that is in house. We do all of it in house. Who is just the best in the industry. I mean, they have every minute of that conference booked down to a T, and it runs like clockwork. And that team has PestWorld booked out 10 years in advance.
Wow.
And so they're scouting the 2035 PestWorld right now.
That's insane.
That is, I mean, we did Bug Bux Con in Phoenix in March, and we are looking at the next event that we're going to do. I'm not going to drop too many details yet, but it's just funny trying to get things squared away, within 6 to 12 months down the road. And here's freaking NPMA, like, 10 years? Where are we going to be in 11 years from now?
Well, it takes that long to get everything dialed in, probably.
Well, and the scope of your events, I can understand why, because just like you said, there's so much that goes on there, so much content, so many events, so much good stuff for the PCO. When I'm there, as a vendor for Bug Bux, it is just breathtaking how much is going on. And we're just managing our one booth, right? Seeing what you guys put on is amazing.
Yeah.
And it can feel overwhelming for someone who is coming for the first time. But we do have resources for that. So we have a first-timer program. We want, for folks that are just trying to figure out what PestWorld's all about, we have a program to help, get you in, help you network with folks, help you get connected right off the bat. And so, our program is comprehensive. So you'll find, things for small pest control companies, medium-sized pest control companies, as well as the big boys too. And so there's something for everybody. It's the best week of the year for me.
Dude, okay. If I don't ask this question, then I'm going to be kicking myself later. If someone's listening to this episode right now and they're like, oh man, I got to buy those tickets for PestWorld, where do they go? How do they buy tickets for PestWorld? How do they register?
Yeah, they can just go to our website, npmapestworld.org, and click on events, and you'll find it. If you Google PestWorld 2025, you're going to find it as well. And today, I'll tell you, the hotel. I think the hotel block opened today, so you want to register and get those hotel rooms today because you definitely want to stay on site.
Oh, that's great. I was actually just thinking, Eric's texting Hunter right this very second.
I pull out my phone like, hey, don't forget about that.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, let's so there are two things that we for sure for certain wanting to cover, because Dr. Jim is the expert on these things, and we want to get the info out there. So first, we want to talk again about Mainframe, just a little bit more about Mainframe and how that resource can help pest control companies. And then two, the NPMA certified.
The Pro certification.
Pro certification.
Yes.
NPMA Pro. Let's start with NPMA Pro.
Okay.
I like it.
NPMA Pro is a brand new individual certification that we've rolled out. A lot of people are familiar with Quality Pro. Quality Pro is a company-wide certification, accreditation for your company, your business practice, and that sort of thing. NPMA Pro is open to any individual who wants to get that certification. It's designed for technicians, and it's designed for the technician who has 1 year of experience and wants to kind of advance their career. So we know that if people stick around in the industry for a year, that often means they're in the industry for a lifetime, right? Because it's a great industry, and so it's designed for that superstar technician who has 1 year of experience. It touches on things like their technical expertise. It includes their service stuff, customer service. It has like scenarios in the exam. We have some training materials that are built specifically to prepare people for the exam, and it really is cool. You don't need to be part of a Quality Pro company in order to be NPMA Pro.
That was going to be my next question.
Right.
Yeah.
So NPMA Pro, any technician who is interested in doing that, we knew, we know that there's a lot of folks out there who are taking the ACE exam, right? So ACE is administered by the Entomological Society of America, and we endorse that program. That's for the aspiring entomologist. That's for the high-level, service experts, the service supervisors, those
Pest control
problem solvers.
nerds. Just say it, Jim. You're beating around the bush.
This is NPMA Pro is for those awesome techs, the technician who has 1 year of experience and wants to do better.
It's a resume.
So we're encouraging everybody to check it out. You can learn more about that on our website as well. The search, just go ahead to npmapestworld.org, search up NPMA Pro, or you can go to npmapro.org. I believe that's it,
dude.
Eric will fact
as I'm typing right now. Yeah. It's cool. I actually, a couple of weeks ago, I did purchase the study guide for NPMA Pro. I'm working through it right now.
Nice.
And I'm going to do the accreditation. Obviously, me and Jake are aces, and so we did that, I think, 5 years ago? 6 years ago. We've had to renew a couple of times, and we just renewed again last year. Yeah. And so I just love having additional certifications, especially because of the educational part of it, Yeah. Because it's cool to have the label, but all of the training material that comes along with it, like when we started for our ACE, I was like, dude, this is great. It provided so much more context to the job at hand that we were doing. And I know that the NPMA has really good quality training material, which is great. So that's on my list. PHE is on my list.
Well, and also plus like memorizing insect orders, that's a pretty cool party trick,
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
People are like, well, what do you know about butterflies? Oh, well, let me tell you about Lepidoptera. I mean, they're like, whoa, he really knows.
You're like, this is wild. This is great. So Jim, I'm super excited that you guys kind of came out with this thing. I think it's going to be really good. And we've had a lot of technicians that have said, hey, I know you guys have your ACEs. When can I do that, right? And I'm like, well, hey, how much experience do you have? Okay, cool. We're looking at 5 years and this other stuff. Having a certification that is more geared towards the first and second year technician, I think it just keeps them on that path, which is really great.
That's exactly right. We want to be able to recognize those outstanding technicians who are just really good at their job, who are passionate about the industry. And it creates, for a business owner, it creates a career path for your people. It keeps them engaged, right? So you can, as a business owner, you can incentivize these levels as they, you put an incentive on that. on that NPMA Pro certification and have someone work towards it and give them something to strive for.
You know why I'm golfing on a Tuesday afternoon instead of working? Because I've got a virtual assistant.
Bingo.
Because I hired a virtual assistant, I now have time to golf, travel, spend time with my family, and actually have a life outside of my office. So what does a virtual assistant do for me? They respond to emails, create reports, manage my schedule, handle all customer service, literally everything that can be done remotely. The best part is you will save thousands of dollars by using a VA instead of someone domestically. If you're looking to free up your time, click the link and let Focus Virtual Assistants make this a reality.
The other question, is there a patch?
You know, you ask that, and I suspect there's a patch. There's definitely a logo, right?
Okay.
And so you can charge just about anything that has a logo.
Okay,
Oh, if there's a
cool.
logo,
our guys
we
are
can
gonna
make a patch.
ask. Our guys are going to ask, is there a patch?
Yeah.
But is there a patch? Yeah. So if there's
Sweet.
not, we'll make one.
Yeah.
We'll get all our guys on this. This is cool.
Yeah,
There you
that'd
go.
be
Great. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then
Okay, so go ahead, Jim.
I'm sorry. Yeah. The other thing you asked about was mainframe. So
Mainframe,
Yes.
yeah.
mainframe. So the stuff that PPMA does, you know, we're constantly trying to get the word out and develop resources. All of that work is done. So, like for instance, I'll give you a couple stats that are pretty cool. We measure our impact in terms of consumer impressions. Right now, consumer impressions can be a little squishy, right? From like a business owner point of view. Eric knows this. You're the marketing guy. Like you want to be able to what are the conversions, right? How do I know that this is getting through and bringing the customer to me? What PPMA is doing is at the top of the funnel, right? So what we're trying to do is convert someone who would never consider pest control to just simply calling a pro, right? So that's what we're doing. So we think about it in terms of impressions. Last year, in terms of impressions, 1.7 billion impressions we count. And
Wait, is that a B?
as in B.
As in boy, bravo, as in billion?
Wow.
Bravo.
Holy smokes.
Like our website, pestworld.org, that's a PPMA website. If you've been to pestworld.org, the consumer site, we had a little over 6 million individual users. Our consumer media relations campaign, so this stuff like, Take Awareness Week and talking to the Weather Channel and marthastewart.com, over 1 billion impressions there.
Wow.
Our public service announcement, 250 million impressions. And so that work is being funded by our investors, right? Large and small. But we know that, it's great to just be able to say, PPMA, we want to give you X amount of dollars. We want to become a Guardian investor. Guardians invest 0.1% of their annual revenues into PPMA to help grow the industry. But some folks are just like, yeah, let me sign the check. What you're doing is great. Do it. Other folks know they want a little bit of a return on that. And so what we did is we designed PPMA Mainframe. So all of our investors who give $1,200 or more. So our Guardians have access, but if you want to become a PPMA Mainframe investor, it's $100 a month, auto pay, hit your credit card, and for that $1,200 a year, you have access to our archive of video, high quality video footage, all our images, all of our research. So we do consumer research. Every couple of years, we also do quarterly Harris polling, so you get insights into your customer base. You get you get all kinds of templates, infographics, access to our to press releases for each of our events. Like when we release the Bug Barometer, you can use a press release in the Bug Barometer to say, XYZ Pest Control, in collaboration with the National Pest Management Association, just released the Bug Barometer, and local television station. I want to talk to you about it because I'm your local bug expert, right?
Right.
And so you can parlay that stuff into being the local expert as well. So all of that's available on Mainframe. We just recently did an inventory, and we value, and we're trying to be conservative because I know it sounds like we're tooting our own horn, but we value the resources on Mainframe at about $2.5 million worth of resources if you were going to hire a firm to do it.
Yeah.
We've been working with a firm for over 20 years as PPMA's partner to do all this work, and so we know what that kind of thing costs.
And you can use that. You can use the PPMA Mainframe content on your social media, as long as you're. Is that true?
Yeah. So if you're, if you're using, say you want to share the bug barometer on social media, by all means, yes, do it. What we ask is that for our proprietary stuff, like it's NPMA, we always do things on behalf of NPMA, but we ask that you don't call it the XYZ bug barometer, XYZ pest control.
Ventura bug barometer.
Yeah.
But yeah, we want folks to share it. I mean, you go to our YouTube channel, the PestWorld YouTube channel. All the videos that we've ever done are there. Our public service announcements are there.
Oh, cool.
And so all of that's available for our investors to use. The idea is to help consumers better understand the value of pest control, and call a pro whenever necessary. That's ultimately the objective.
Well, if you're a pest control company owner and you're thinking, man, I need to do more social media stuff, but I just don't have enough content on my own, and I can't make enough content on my own. How do I get more content that will be engaging? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
to that point, Jake, each month we add on a monthly basis we add to Mainframe a list, like 5 Facebook posts that are ready made. You just put your website in there, and some Twitter, some Pinterest stuff.
Take my money, man.
And then you can link it back to the stuff at PestWorld, which is it's good information for anybody, so you can reference this stuff and just have the conversations with your customers, with your community about pest control, and we kind of do the work for you.
That's awesome.
I love
so awesome.
I always love having you on the show because I feel like there's always going to be some pest control companies out there, whether they're new or experienced, that just don't quite understand how much there is to gain from being an NPMA member, number one, going to the events, number two, and number three, the benefits of what the PPMA is doing on their behalf and the tools and resources that they could have at their disposal for a 10th of 10% of their annual revenue for being a supporter of all these phenomenal things. So I love these kinds of episodes because I think it's just a great resource for the industry.
Yeah.
Well, we love you getting the word out because we can't do this without the support of our investors, right? I mean, PPMA is a nonprofit organization that is built to help your company grow, right? That's what it is, and so we need the support. And if people want to get connected, they can visit ppmamainframe.org. They can email me directly at ppma@pestworld.org. And I'm easy to find, right? So I'm at NPMA. Just reach out to me, and I can get you connected right away.
Man, that's awesome. So awesome. And great to put yourself out there, too, and say, hey, look, the star guy that's here on the podcast right now, the big-time guy, you can talk to me. And that's big. You guys can talk to the actual Jim Fredericks.
I'm flattered when you say that kind of stuff, but it's me, right? I am the one. When you reach out and get connected to PPMA, that's me. I'm the single employee of PPMA.
I think it was
that's
funny.
Extreme ownership right there.
I emailed once. I was like, yeah, I'm looking for my login information or whatever, and Jim emailed me back and was like, hey man, here's your login information. I was like, oh, hey Jim, like how's it going? But
that's too
man,
funny.
this has been awesome. All right, Jim, we're short on time. If there's one last thing that you wanted to let the audience know, whether it's NPMA related, industry related, PPMA related, we've talked about a lot of things. What's one last thing you just want to leave the audience with?
Well, if there was one thing that I think people ought to know about is, the work that NPMA and PPMA does on behalf of the industry I think is really important. It's We're trying to grow the industry. We're trying to protect the industry. Right, the NPMA team is government affairs crew that's out there, talking to EPA every day on Capitol Hill, fighting for the industry. But none of it works if you don't get engaged. And so, so join PPMA. When it comes to NPMA, get engaged at the state level. So join your state pest control association. NPMA has agreements with many of these state associations to that's called joint membership. So if you join, say, the Colorado Association, you also join NPMA. It's a combination deal. And then, but joining isn't enough. Like sending the check isn't enough when it comes to the NPMA stuff. Get engaged. Go to those local meetings. Go to your state meetings. Get involved in an NPMA committee. Come to PestWorld. Right? That's when you're not only are you going to be funding the work we're doing, but you're going to be getting it back, because the networks, the people, the engagement you get with your peers through NPMA and PPMA is you won't find it anywhere else. Right? It's a special thing, and I know you guys have this. With Bug Bux, you have the same mentality. We can be better together, right? And that's the idea here. But we got to just get in there and do the work.
Love it.
Yeah, that's great.
That's well said, Jim. And thank you so much for being on the show. As always, it's a pleasure. Lots of given information. And for everybody else that's listening in, thank you guys for taking the time. If you guys have a manager or a coworker or even an owner who could benefit from listening to this episode, the best way to say thank you to us is to share this episode with them. If you haven't joined the Facebook groups yet, go find the groups and join. It's Bug Bux Plus. Lots of information and great connections there. And if you have a topic you want discussed on the show, drop it in the group. As always, this episode is brought to you by Bug Bux Plus, the #1 training and education platform designed to help you build and scale your pest control company. Visit bugbuxplus.com to sign up and start building today.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks again for listening in, and until next time, keep building those pest control companies.
You're listening to the Bug Bux Podcast, hosted by Eric Bassett and Jake Klaus.